Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you are able to brave the cold if you have to head out and about. It is brutal out there. Temps that are down around 7 below. We've had gusty winds, too, that are pushing the wind chill down around 30 below early this morning. That's the kind of cold you really don't want to try to spend a lot of time outdoors in, and make sure you're layering up if you have to. We're going to talk about how that's affecting the morning commute, because we do have a lot of schools that have called out as a result of that cold being in place, and that means less traffic on the roads, but it also means that we have some issues that are related to the cold that have popped up, and we're going to walk through some of those. And let's go ahead and get into what we are seeing out there. It is stalled vehicles that can become a problem in this kind of bitter cold, and we've had a couple of them. The latest one is on L Street westbound right around 28th. This is just to the west of the JFK that we're talking about with this, so you have to watch for those if you are having to head out and about. Let me show you the Nebraska DOT camera in that area and give you an idea of what it's looking like in that area. You can see the right lane is blocked. We do have a tow truck that's on the scene, but watch for that work that is continuing to happen as a result of that. And this kind of drives home the point of making sure that you have emergency kit in your vehicle just in case you run into any kind of issues if you are having to travel in these conditions. Have some water, some snacks. Make sure you have a blanket or something to keep warm as you are traveling in this bitter cold. Just in case it's something like this, if you end up in a crash, you never know what can happen as you're out on the roads, and stalled vehicles do become a little more likely in these kind of scenarios. Let me show you the overall view of how the commute is going, though. You will notice it is very quiet on this map. A lot of green showing up. A lot of our roads that are typically pretty busy without that school traffic are holding up in pretty good shape. That includes Dodge. That includes the JFK, 370, all looking pretty good. We've had these off and on little specks that have been showing up this morning. One of them right around the 680 and Center interchange. And when I've been checking the cameras, I do think this may be a a sensor issue related to the cold, as the views in those areas haven't looked particularly all that bad. So I'm going to pull up a camera there so you can see for yourself what I'm talking about. This is, again, right around Center on 680. And when I pull that up, just a moment here. You'll notice there's more traffic here than where we looked last time, but it's moving along pretty well. So that sensor likely having some issues with the cold. And so, not to say you won't run into any slow travel, but do be aware that there is less traffic out there than you would typically deal with as people kind of hunker down with this kind of cold being in place. One other thing that we do have going on, and this is more if you're heading outside of the metro, maybe you are somebody who has to go somewhere through the course of the weekend. And yes, that is a little bit of some snow that's showing up as you work your way further to the west near York, down to the south of Lincoln, not quite to Beatrice, but if you are heading anywhere in that area on I-80, as you get past Seward and continue toward York, you're going to run into some flakes that are flying. It's not a big deal, but it is something you will notice in that area. And once again, I'll pull a camera up so you can get a visual of what I'm talking about in that area. As we do these live streams, we always try to give you as many visualizations of what is actually happening via the Nebraska DOT camera network. And let's take a look at one that is in place as you head into that stretch near that snow. should see something on one of these cameras here. All right, so this is right around Utica. And you can see it's not sticking to the roads. It's not heavy. You're just getting a few flakes from time to time. This is not something that's going to result in big problems. It was affecting the visibility a little bit. And that's something I'll pull up real quick here. You can see some of those little shadings that are showing up west of York. That was in between York and Lincoln not too long ago. So if you are maybe heading toward Denver or even Grand Island, you're heading in that direction, you may run into some of that. But again, it's not sticking on the roads. It's not going to be a big problem for you. Again, I'll pull up the overall travel map, and you're going to notice that there aren't too many issues that are showing up in our area at this time. Good news for anyone who is planning to travel. Something else, though, I want to point out, and I'm going to work on pulling this up for you. This is more going to be something to keep in mind throughout the course of the weekend at large, not just this morning. If you have flights, you're going to want to keep close tabs on the departure board. And let me pull that up here. I'll pull myself out of the way here so you can see the full spread of what's happening with this picture. So you can always track the latest with departures, arrivals on flyoma.com. And notice that we're starting to stack up some delays a little bit. We were at about 2 as the day started. Now we've got a flight to Las Vegas with a delay, one to Phoenix that has been kicked back to later this morning, small delay on a flight to San Francisco, another minor delay to Dallas. So it's not big problems that we're seeing, but we are getting a few delays. And as we deal with this big system that is not just going to bring some snow to our area tonight and into tomorrow, and also the bitter cold, it's going to be affecting a very large portion of the country. So be ready for that. That's going to be an ongoing issue. You will want to keep close tabs on, if you are flying out this weekend, how things are proceeding with the impacts as a result of this winter storm system that is really knocking the temperatures down and also going to be putting down some snow, perhaps some ice and sleet down into the southern U.S., places that don't deal with it a whole lot and aren't accustomed to that being a problem. So just be prepared for that. It's a good resource to have on hand. Let's do one more check of what things are looking like on our roads here as we're going through the morning. This will probably be a shorter stream. We don't have a lot of problems that are popping up, and we are looking at pretty smooth travel in much of the metro with the lack of school traffic. But you can see that we are looking at a pretty green map at this point. I want to circle back to that stalled vehicle that we had on L Street. That was right around 28th, so just to the west of the JFK. And that is still in place, so we'll take a look at that. So there it is. You can see tow trucks on the scene. I don't expect this situation to last too much longer, but again, be ready for being prepared for any kind of issues like this that you may run into. If you just happen to have a stall vehicle, which become a little more likely when we are looking at this cold of weather, or if you're in a crash, anything like that, you want to just make sure you have supplies in your car to where you're going to be in okay shape with this kind of cold. All right, I think with that, we'll wrap up our live stream. I appreciate you joining in. Stay safe, stay warm this weekend. It's going to stay bitterly cold all weekend long. Coldest conditions this morning, but doesn't improve a ton as the weekend goes on. So if you are traveling, use caution. We'll be tracking the snow that makes its way in tonight into tomorrow as well as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. Have a great rest of your day, and again, stay safe, everybody.